What's good, YouTube? Manaphy here, and as you can see, I'm a man of my word. I was very impressed by how well this Blastoise deck did in the most recent Ursi Day Weekly, as they went undefeated in Swiss, aka 8-0, and it actually made it all the way to top 8. That means it won in top 64, top 32, top 16. So technically, it was 11-0 until it finally lost. And honestly, on paper, it essentially just seems like it's a Gyarados build, but instead of like you're basically trading off like the speed and power of Gyarados for, I guess, like the security and like the security of like that, the fact that Squirtle doesn't get one shot or anything by all these like Skarmory or him only decks that are out there. And the Blastoise, once it's built up, could hit for 160, which is more than the 140 from Gyarados, and then that's a whole trade-off thing. So on paper, I see what this deck is going for. As for how good it's going to perform, I don't know, because I'm recording this before I start. For like a more detailed, I guess, or a look at how well it did in that tournament, I will link like I'll put a little title card for the meta breakdown. But the best way to see how good this deck actually is, or what it's supposed to do, is in the gameplay, and I'm gonna go right into it. And what I mean by go right into it is that I'm going to put at risk my top 1000 and just go straight into ranked, into Master Ball ranked top 1000, see how deck fares. Probably do like 3 to 4 games, maybe 5 if we were doing well, and there's only one way to go, but just to start off. Alright, and now going to game 1, we are going second, and it does seem like we're going against a water match, whether it's Gyarados. It's most likely Gyarados. The chances that it's like a Blastoise mirror is very low. As for who wins this matchup, it probably comes down to like a Misty, or who sees the Manaphy's, or time will tell ultimately, right? But we'll see. Going second will also help us, because essentially we're going to be able to smack this Manaphy, and then War Turtle closes it out after the fact. And then by turn 3, we have Blastoise hitting for 100. That's the idea anyways. You see, this is one example of like a thing that could just end the game immediately. Luckily, it did not. And let's see how it goes. Alright, we do have the entire line already, so that's huge. So barring their Pocket, that's a Misty doing more damage than it already did. Might just be in the I should have held that Manaphy before after the research, just for like less details on like what we saw. That Misty is also pretty good. The second Squirtle doesn't hurt, and I'm committing everything to the board because nowadays everybody's on Mars, and I just don't want to be hit with like by too many cards here. And here we're able to do the 20 damage, and next turn we're able to knock that out with War Turtle. As far as the Gyarados, I'm not too afraid of Gyarados, especially since it's gonna be pretty behind on energy. We aren't playing any form of Sabrina. Actually, whoops, I just realized we're on the wrong screen. But let's pretend that that didn't happen, and we'll quickly jump to this. Yeah, stay with me, y'all. I've been out of the recording loop for a while, but, you know, we'll make it work. I actually want to research over the Misty. I don't know, Articuno's pretty good in this case. Maybe to just put a body out. Yeah, we're taking care of Manaphy. Now, if they evolve into Gyarados, we do hit it, like, again, Misty's the only way they could win if they evolve into Gyarados. If they have, like, a Palkia play, we don't have a way of, like, if they leap out into something, we don't have a way of, like, bringing it back out. Like, now that you can clearly see the list. But they're basically, I'm just hoping they don't have Misty. Okay, is that perfectly fine? Alright, okay. Let's do this. And I guess our best bet is just to Misty here, in hopes that it doesn't matter. So yeah, we're gonna hit them for 100, and if they don't Irida, actually, even if they Irida, we just win. Okay, so yeah, the only thing we fear here is a Misty giving them. No, because even with Misty, they're still 20 off, right? Okay, no, we got it, we got it. Because if they Misty, they can't heal up to 120, which would require us to use red. And if they Irida, then we have red to hit them for 120. So, game 1 in terms of Blastoise versus Gyarados, it clearly worked out for us. Neither of our Misties hit though, so it's a pretty fair battle, like back and forth. Being able to go, does this matter? This doesn't matter at all, actually. Yeah, GG's. So, yeah, that was pretty huge. It's sort of how like Gyarados tends to beat Palkia. It seems like Blastoise on paper seems to be able to knock out Gyarados, or maybe I just got lucky in that one. Like I said, this is just trying out the deck, seeing how valid or how, like, if did the guy get lucky or if it's an actual good deck. And so far so good. So let's go on to the next game. All right, game number 2. We're going first this time, and it is against another water deck. Water's all over the place today, I guess. This hand's already not as good. However, them having Magikarp is decent. Like, what, a Misty from like just stealing the game. Definitely hoping for Squirtle. Manaphy would be cool too, but not as necessary. Let's see here. Articuno having the 1 retreat cost is actually huge. However, this is not the situation you want to be in. Where's the Squirtle? But also, them starting with Magikarp makes me feel a little bit better in the situation. Granted, Misty could flip the game on its head immediately. Alright, double Pokeball basically guarantees their Manaphy. Unless they got Magikarp Palkia, right? That's another option they could have gotten. Honestly, if I lose to like this play, like, okay, I'm like, if I lose to a Misty, I'll leave it in the video because it shows like that anybody could lose to that, right? Alright, so they just give it to Magikarp. They're going to leap out. So we do have, this is going to definitely be a tougher challenge than the first game we saw, in which we only had to deal with a Manaphy and then Magikarp. Ooh, okay. I think a Misty that hits 2 heads is far more important. Maybe this is too greedy. But I believe like the advantage we'd get if this hits. Come on, just one more. Just one more. Put me in there. Let's go. Had it given me the 3 and been able to set up elsewhere, would have been huge. Alright, so knocking out Manaphy this early. Enormous. Now, is that the correct play? I think when I forget that it makes you do this. I can't say it's a correct play, clearly, but when you're playing Misty, when it's like a mirror match like this, and in the terms that it's both water versus water, like, at times you're like forced to like try your hand at that, right? Alright, communication. That could guarantee them... Actually, that's no guaranteed Gyarados, depending... Like, that could just be another Magikarp, it could be another Manaphy. But it was in fact the Gyarados. Gyarados is going up to 2 energy. Again, we have no way of like bringing it out. So our best bet is hoping to see the Squirtle and just building that up in response to their Gyarados. We'll definitely research here. Again, I keep using research after like revealing what's in my hand, but... Okay, so if we somehow get this Squirtle to have 5 energy before this Gyarados, it becomes a problem. We do one-shot it with red. Let's thin the deck out further, I guess. We could technically put down the Manaphy, but at that point, I think it's a liability more than anything. Unless we get hit by, like, the last card in their hand is Mars. I guess something I could do to, like, guarantee is, like, back out Articuno and start using Manaphy to ramp up here. Because technically I hit this, it goes to 3 energy. I hit it again. Like, they're stuck at this point. But I already committed the energy to Squirtle. Let's do it the next turn. But this is what happens when I'm playing a deck on the fly and I'm not really thinking on like the lines, I guess. But it's definitely far more important to start building up the Manaphy, especially if they bring out Gyarados and knock out the Manaphy in the front. Like, we're perfectly fine with that, and we're able to follow it up with Articuno. And this Palkia is literally just a liability for them. So let's go War Turtle. Yeah, this should have been my play from like turn 1. I'm thinking if they go forward, they go Leaf. We're going to be at 3-2, then 3-3. Like, I want to sort of play around Sabrina. Now, let's put this down. Mainly because if they use Sabrina or something, I don't want to put these out in front of the Gyarados. Communication is useless right now. And red is like our win condition. Let's go Gift here. Yeah, so it truly feels like our setup against their setup. Blastoise definitely feels a little more stronger than Gyarados in terms of like in the matchup, because Gyarados can't one-shot Blastoise even with the red, while if we have red and a built-up Blastoise, we can actually knock them out. All right. Cape is huge, making it even further, like even less likely for them to do anything. Evolve right now, and I think next turn we'll be aggressive with the Articuno. We'll knock out Palkia. If they want to go Gyarados, we will take it. Although we want as much energy as possible on our Pokemon, so that when Gyarados does its thing, we don't like lose out on the energy we need. Also, I want to point out that once again, as you can see down below, we have no Cyrus or Sabrina, like no way to bring out anything in the back. Personally, not my like favorite way of playing a deck, but I could see why. Like once you build up Blastoise, you're basically one-shotting everything that's in front of you, as well as I'm just trying out card for card the deck that did very well in the Earthsea Day Weekly. I'm not here trying to like rebuild the deck. I'm trying to basically bring this deck into ranked, like the highest level of rank that I could possibly show you guys, because I'm not like tier 1. I'm in top 1000. I'm trying to show that content and see how it goes. And so far we've gone into Gyarados' deck, so hopefully we get a few Giratina Darkrai's there to like see how that goes. Although on paper I can see how it works. Alright, so they went Cape, making it where it's now 200. So it's, and we don't have a way of punishing the play they're doing right now. Technically we have to force out the Gyarados, right? Like we don't want their Palkia to start taking hits, like knockouts and stuff. We could Iono, but I kind of want my card. If anything, to play around Mars, let's get rid of this communication. And yeah, technically we're one Sabrina away from stealing the game. Granted, he does not know that we don't have that, right? But as far as like how would you fit in the Sabrina, I can see how that's an issue. Currently, if I had to just pick out a card, I would maybe cut Irida to 1. Other than that, I can see like the need for like everything else. I do like Iono in this list, because since we are stage 2, I don't play Iono in my Gyarados list, but for a stage 2 list, I could see that. Okay, this Misty does absolutely nothing in this case, right? Like even had it hit, unless I guess they could have built up a second Gyarados. Never mind. That could have been annoying, like them swapping that around. Was that their second Misty? Yeah, it was. Okay. No more surprises coming up. And this should be game. Unless they have like double Sabrina. That's like the way we lose this one. Let's go Blastoise. Extra energy just in case the Gyarados starts sniping it. Red technically does absolutely nothing here. I'll hold it just in case they swap into this Gyarados. And again, the Squirtle's just to play around Mars. I want the least amount of cards in my deck as possible. Hit him with Hydro Bazooka. And I don't see us losing from this point. I don't see a way we could lose, again, outside of like, even with double Sabrina. Because the Sabrina once and we just knock them out, right? So that's 2 Gyarados and 2 Gyarados down. Somewhat easily, if I have to be honest. I felt like I was in control most of the game. Even this time around where they had their... I believe they had the dream set up. Now I completely lost it. Last time we were able to like completely knock them out before they did anything. But this time around, they definitely built up a... Or were they stuck with Palkia? Honestly, right now... Oh no, wait. This is the game where I cheesed them with the Articuno swinging before. They did have the ideal setup, but we completely sacked out the win with the Misty. So let's pretend that didn't happen. Carry on to the game number 3. Alright, for game number 3, we go first once again against a fighting deck. This is where technically it should show that we have that we are not as susceptible to aggression or like Hitmonlees and stuff like that. Regardless, we still hold the cards in our hand. Every time I see this fighting deck, it's like, if only I had Rocky Helmet, which is obviously not the case in this situation, but you have to assume they're not on Hitmonlee. Well, you don't have to assume, but I'm going to assume. And I will commit, like, since we Pokeballed and we're able to thin the deck out quite a bit, I will in fact start committing these to the board. And I'll put the second Manaphy mainly because if they Sabrina or something, or I want to play around Sabrina, right? That Ride is going to come clutch in this matchup, I believe. I could be wrong, but it feels like it will be. Alright, here where we get punished, technically, is if they do have, in fact, a Hitmonlee. Okay, can't complain about their Pokeball usage. We ourselves open double Pokeball. Alright, research. Now we can start complaining a bit. Alright, so Skull Fossil. Cool. So they're on Rampardos, which Rampardos cannot one-shot a Blastoise if we get there, right? Maybe with double Lucario it will. But technically, it shouldn't. However, we might want to Irida already. No, right. The Irida doesn't make a difference because Lucario would hit for 60. Well, now we have the research, so we're kind of even. And definitely not going to use Irida at this point. Communication. I think it's worth looking for War Turtle. Because at the end of the day, that's our win condition. And then that's perfect. It's not only our win condition, but getting that Blastoise up would be huge. Also, if they don't have Lucario, we're kind of in the money. Like, if we get an extra turn of this Manaphy, we're really good. Although, they don't have to even evolve this one into Lucario. If they evolve the back one into Lucario, they do knock out this Manaphy. But they had us in a situation... So, clearly they're setting up their Rampardos, right? Unfortunately... There's not much we could do about that. I'll give them the... I'll completely punt to Sabrina, I guess. They definitely played it as if they had Rampardos, or that they forced the hand on Manaphy anyways, right? You know what? As much as I want these Iridas, I'm going to Iono in hopes that first they don't have Rampardos, and second that I see my Blastoise. Unfortunately, did not happen or did not occur. We're going to be quite in trouble, huh? Especially since once we go into Articuno, even if we paralyze Gyarados, he's able to just evolve over it and delete the paralyzation. And that doesn't include if they're playing like Pokemon Center. Interesting. Giving us a second chance at the Blastoise, and there it is. Is there a world where we like actually steal the game? Because we're gonna knock this out. It hit us for 120. We need to start drawing our Riders, huh? Actually, we might just take this. Outside of like barring if they have Sabrina, they definitely just win with the Marshadow. That's for sure. There's nothing we can do about that. So no reason to play around it. If one of their two cards or the top deck is Sabrina, we lose. Otherwise, we might just have this. The issue is, however, is that if they don't commit Marshadow right now, let's say they put Riolu and they want to poke or something, it gives them an extra turn to draw that Sabrina. If they have the Sabrina, there wasn't anything we could do. GG's. Not how I want to lose, but there's probably a line where if they saw if they saw a less aggressive hand, we might have had it. I don't know. Maybe I played it wrong. Feel free to comment down below on how you felt about the way I played this. Let's go to game 4. Alright, game 4. Hopefully it's against Giratina Darkrai so that I could finally... Okay, no, against Grass. Yikes. It's definitely going to depend on this research. I don't remember... Okay, we're going second. That's pretty good. If we find... Yikes. Yeah, we're definitely... We need to find the Squirtle and or Articuno, if not both. We do have communication. We might have to, like, do a Hail Mary here. Okay, definitely know what we're sending back with communication if we don't find Squirtle. Squirtle. Iono. We might have to do Iono next turn, but I do want to hopefully see... Even Articuno at this point is something I would rather see than what's going on right now. Unfortunate. You know, if we completely, like, get clowned on this game, I will for sure play a 5th game to see, like... I feel like this is a bad representation. Like, any deck could break like this, right? Like, technically, their deck could work like this. Had they opened, like, let's say, the cat, and then at Magnemite, and their whole hand is just Florigados and stuff. So I'm not going to be too... Okay, there's a Squirtle. So... That's actually healed up. No reason to Iono. Like, technically, there is a reason, but the fact that we have, like, to disrupt their hand... But the fact that we have our hand perfect, it feels like a little like not a good idea to do so. So we'll see what happens. Research is great. Anything that's not Sabrina bringing out Squirtle is great. is what I'm trying to get at. I would have loved for that Magnemite to be up front. However, Magnemite cannot one-shot Magnezone cannot one-shot Blastoise, so I feel a little okay with the situation we're in. As long as we get does that fix anything? Not really, right? I guess it makes it where we could technically be aggressive starting next turn, although we're probably gonna be aggressive regardless. Unfortunately, we do lose. Actually, no. They have no way of putting enough energy on Magneton to one-shot the Sword Turtle. Alright. Alright, depending on what they do next turn. Well, regardless of what they do, we're going to go Blastoise and start swinging. It depends on what they do, whether we have like a chance to win whatsoever. Is what I was trying to get at. Okay, they got Volt Charge there. If they don't evolve these cats, I feel pretty good. If they do evolve the cats, we could be in danger. We might Iono for fun. Like, hopefully disrupts them. Like, they go from... I don't even know what would consider be disrupting when they're just... If it was Mars, it would definitely be, like, not even think twice, we'll put it down. But we're not playing Mars. Actually, seeing that... Okay, they just had both. Okay, so never mind. I was like, well, I was about to say, like... That's perfect, but never mind. I'm trying to think if realistically there's any shot that we don't just explode to the amount of like power that's about to come our way. There's the Articuno. You know what? It's our best shot regardless. We just gotta Iono. Hope they don't see the Meowscaradas. Maybe they don't see Magnezone. I don't know what they would have to not see for us to have a chance. But honestly, it's just sitting here waiting as they like go through their entire deck also does not seem like the play. And realistically, we might have like an Articuno ready by the time that they present lethal. I could be wrong. We have 8 cards left in deck. We're at 200 HP. That's pretty good. Although it might actually come down to if Articuno could freeze like, yeah, Ice Beam and paralyze some Pokemon here. They're in the tank. I feel like actually no, they might still be doing, they definitely have Magnezone. But oof, actually I feel like this could be a misplay from them because Meowscarada cannot one-shot Articuno in any way, shape, or form. So trading this Blastoise for Magneton makes it so... Alright, so they have their Magnum... they have like, what, like negative cards left in deck? This trade that they're about to do makes it where, yes, Meowscarada will take down the Blastoise in the crackback, but... Alright. So maybe there's a chance. Granted, again, we lose to Sabrina. Not gonna even pretend that's... And they haven't used it, right? Yeah, never mind. It was a nice thought, right? I guess it comes down to, can I paralyze like how many turns in a row? I'm gonna need a lot of paralyzation. I guess in hindsight, Cape should have been for the Manaphy. And before the last 2 cards in the deck is the Meowscaradas. Wait, what? The last 2 cards were actually Meowscarada. Let's... Big man Blastoise, let's go. Okay. You know what? Just because how throw that game was, I don't know. Shout out to Iono. You know what? Who needs Mars when you have Iono? I'm gonna give him the 5th game. I'm gonna give Blastoise the 5th game. We are currently 3-1 in our 4 games. Let's do 5, you know? Hopefully we get that Giratina Darkrai matchup. That's like what I'm hoping for. So let's jump right into it. The 5th and final game of the video is going first against... We finally found it, the Darkrai matchup. Okay. Honestly, we're going first, so we get to see, do they start with the Darkrai? Whether we put the Squirtle down is probably going to be based on the Pokeball. Like what Pokeball grabs. Okay, never mind. We're hoping for Articuno and Manaphy. There's Manaphy. And I really want the Articuno, but okay, perfect. And I high-key don't want to put all of them down. Like, I could get punished if they have the Sabrina play. But I kind of want communication to send something out. Let's see if I regret this. I might not. Maybe it was too greedy. Okay, no, research automatically throws to away the possibility of the... I don't know why I'm blanking on words right now. Besides the fact that it's like almost 1 in the morning and I'm currently a father. So my hours are all over the place. Our ride is gonna be huge for this Manaphy to survive the following turn. Do we communication now? I think I want to. Hoping for War Turtle, but that does not help. We could cape the Squirtle for now. Although cape on Articuno makes it where Darkrai can't like 2-shot or whatever. So let's hope cape for now. He has no reason to Mars because since we didn't commit anything to the board, like we used communication in the past, it's clearly not War Turtle. And that doesn't affect him in any way, I guess. Alright. War Turtle? Nope. However, we do have a Rida. We'll do it mainly because we don't want for him to get the 2-for-1. Like, he has to now pick and choose what he wants to knock out. However, he could definitely take out Articuno if he wants to. Like, if he just Sabrinas now, I guess I should have committed the cape to Articuno in order for, like, to prevent this Sabrina play that's about to happen. Never mind, no Sabrina play is happening. I really need to see War Turtle. Research into Squirtle War Turtle. That's like, I need something else in the bench. Or if Articuno just starts freezing this guy for days, that'd be cool too. Otherwise, we are not gonna have fun. Iono. You know what? I'm down for it. I probably gave him Giratina and like the world, but I gave myself the win condition, I guess. We do lose to Sabrina, huh? Let's hope for the paralyzation. Come on, Articuno for the squad. This Articuno probably just won us the game. Because regardless if he puts a Giratina down, regardless if he puts a second Darkrai. Oh wait, he could have Pokemon Center Lady. But if he has Pokemon Center Lady, he cannot use Sabrina. So that's just as good. Okay, a second Darkrai. We do not care for that. That Darkrai cannot attack in time to do anything at all. How important that paralyzation was is insane. Like, is this a video to highlight how good Blastoise is, or just should we swap out our Palkias for our Origin Form Palkias for Articunos in our Gyarados list? I don't know. Y'all take whatever you want from this. Honestly, I'm happy already with like the performance. Even if we lost this game and went 3-2, or if we were just broke even, like I would have been perfectly fine with the performance of this deck. You're gonna need another potion. Do you have another potion? I would say if they do, then we would have probably committed the red. Alright, a Manaphy is technically a liability, not really. Okay, we'll run back here. Go Blastoise. We could have used red to win here, but no need. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put down Manaphy despite it being like a liability in the terms that they could. Actually, no, they have. If they had attackers ready at the ready, it would have been a liability because they're able to Sabrina knock it out and then like Cyrus knock out the thing. But due to the situation we're in, I'd rather take cards out for if they Mars me. Although at this point, if they do not add Cape to any of these guys, actually Cape specifically to the Giratina, Blastoise one-shots next turn. However, one thing that keeps happening to me in these Darkrai Giratinas, especially on ranked ladder, because it's not something you'll see in like the tournament level, is Team Rocket Grunt. Not only do they use it, it always goes for like 3 to 4 energy. So that is a possibility. And please, Lord, don't let it happen. Okay, Cape is fine. Cape is fine because we do have the red in hand. Okay, Darkrai. So far, seems like no Team Rocket Grunt. Giratina ability for game. The suspense, bro. The way they're taking so long, it makes me feel like there's no way they have it. At most, maybe they have like a Sabrina or a Cyrus, and they're thinking like, oh, maybe if I bring out Articuno, it changes the... Let's go. 4-1 with Blastoise. And the one, we could have maybe gotten lucky and won it had like the situation been a little different. Had they not seen Sabrina also, we could have probably won it. But that's nor here nor there. We won all the important matchups in the sense that we beat 2 Gyaradoses. We beat Magnezone, Meowscarada, and Giratina Darkrai. Those are the 3 best decks in the format in terms of like how many people are playing it. And honestly, it felt pretty convincing all the way around. Yes, we needed some luck here and there. We're not going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the W's. 4-1 with Blastoise. Feel free to try out the deck. This is in Master Ball ranked top 1000. We ended up... well, we'll see it right now. So, alright. We're in 1945, which is... okay. I forget how many freaking clicks there is after a game. And we are currently sitting at... top 600, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. That's like... I would love to show y'all like top 100 games or whatever. I'm not there, so I can't show you that. But this is as competitive as I could show you guys. It worked out. We went against some of the best decks in the format. We actually beat some of the best decks and lost to like a troll. Rampardos isn't troll. It's just like not a deck that I truly like prepare for. It's just like if it happens, most of my list have Rocky Helmet, but I'm just testing this list out. Honestly, it performed a lot better than I anticipated. I honestly thought it was like this guy's one and done. So is Blastoise a real threat in the meta? Time will tell. If Gyarados is good, like anything like this, it's essentially like in the same, maybe like a 1A, 1B sort of situation, or maybe it's like 1 and this is like, if one is A tier, this one's like B tier. I wouldn't be surprised if more people are on Blastoise. Hopefully this video was entertaining enough. Hopefully it didn't drag out too long. I did want to show games with like every deck, so I kept playing until I saw that Giratina Darkrai matchup. Enjoyed. If you want to see more content like this, feel free to subscribe as I post gameplay videos as you see here, meta reports to keep track of like where the meta is both in ranked and on the tournament scene. Also expert solo battle guides as sets drop. I always post like the best way to beat them with like 3 diamonds or less or no trainers and all of the above. And every time a set drops, I also post a bunch of pack openings. So feel free, if any of that interests you, to subscribe, and above all else, stay pro.